Howdy folks, how's everybody doing? You're not out there because this is not live. If you're watching this video, I'm not here, I'm elsewhere, busy. It's a crazy week. We still gotta talk about whiskey, we still gotta drink whiskey. So, welcome, episode 7 of The Whiskey Hunter. And this is a special one because for the first time, we've been sponsored. We have a sponsor. We teamed up with Okanagan Spirits Craft Distillery from the Okanagan Valley in BC. And what can I say? I'm pumped. I got the hat on, I got the shirt on, and I'm super grateful for Tyler, the CEO, and everyone there who's been so helpful this week with my research and my sampling. So thanks, everyone. So a bit about Okanagan Spirits. They've been around for 17 years. They were making whiskey in BC when no one was making whiskey. They're the kind of like the mavericks of the Wild West of whiskey making. Now everyone's kind of making, there's about 50 distilleries in BC alone, but Okanagan Spirits are the best. So you've got to check them out. They use all local farmers, local farming, and they've kind of created this great local taste profile that you have to experience. They say, well, I say, because I've been to the Okanagan Valley, the only thing better than being in the Okanagan Valley is trying these expressions by the Okanagan Spirits. And you can buy them. You can check them out online and get them delivered right to your door. So after our little review, you like what you hear and see, you can check them out. Let's go. Cause I'm the whiskey, the whiskey hunter. All right, folks, it's great to be here. And I can't wait to talk to you about these whiskeys because I've been talking about them and sampling them and all week, and I can't wait to share some info with you. So I'm gonna go right to it, okay? I got 4 different bottles to get to today, and 4 is a lot. It's a lot of whiskey sampling for the morning or whatever time it is where you are. It's a lot in general, but we can do it. So I've got 4 different expressions, and I've lined them up the way Tyler told me to, because he's the CEO of the company, and if he tells you how to line things up, I'm gonna scooch this like that. If he tells you how to line up your samples, you just do what he said. So I'm starting with this beautiful bottle. BRBN, BC Bourbon Style Whiskey. Look at these bottles. These things are beautiful. I just want to put them on my shelf and stare at them. Look at these things. Beautiful. Okay, so this is a bourbon style whiskey. Tyler explained to me over Instagram that this is like what he calls, and I've been using this term on my show, a gateway whiskey. So for people who are not too into whiskey drinking, they find it too strong or too harsh, this is a good whiskey because it's so smooth and so mellow. Okay, so made up 54% Okanagan grain corn, 46% Okanagan malted barley. Like I said, all local crops. Pretty cool? We've got to try this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna pour it out. If you're wondering why the color is so beautiful, it's because of the barrels that they're used. So like American whiskey, it's aged in brand new oak barrels for 3 years. But what they do with their barrels is they do, Tyler had to explain a bunch of things to me. It's difficult to understand if you're not smart. He explained that the barrels are heavily toasted. So they toast them kind of like toasting a marshmallow over a bonfire. They're toasted for a long time. And after they're toasted, check out the hat, by the way, Okanagan Spirits. Check out the shirt. After the barrels are toasted for a long time, then they're charred. And that gives it this beautiful color, comes into the taste. It makes it that much more mellow. So let's see, let's get into it, okay? So right away on the nose, I don't know if this is because my wife's been making lots of banana bread during COVID, but I'm getting like a banana bread smell right at the top. And you can almost like feel the anticipation for the smoothness coming just from sniffing it. So I'm going in. Cheers, folks. Whiskey number 1. We got lots of whiskey drinking to do. Man, so smooth. Vanilla, like a vanilla smoothness that is so pleasant. I can see why they call it a gateway whiskey, because anyone can drink this whiskey, even people that dislike whiskey. It's so smooth and just like, comfortable to drink. I know during the week, a few people that have been tuning into some of my stuff on social media have actually purchased bottles from their website. So you can do that too. You should do that, because this is a bottle that you need to have. It's unusual not seeing the questions come up, because this is not a live stream. So I'm trying to think of questions in my head to answer for people. I'll talk about the finish in 1 second. I'll just sip it one more time. So it's bourbon style, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have that bourbon, that kind of joltiness, where some bourbons are a little bit too harsh. It's bourbon-esque, but it's so smooth and, like I said, so pleasant to drink. And the finish, it's long and lingering, but it's a lingering kind of mellowness. It just kind of mellowness just makes you kind of, perfect starter whiskey for me today, because now I'm into it. Now I'm into it. We got to move on, because I got 4 whiskeys to do. I got a couple songs to play. I got a couple babies to make. So moving on. One more time. BRBN BC bourbon style whiskey. Any questions? Any questions? Leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you after I make the babies. Okay? Deliver the babies. Moving on. Check this out. BC rye whiskey, okay? 41% Coldstream Valley rye, 49% locally malted BC barley. That was a mouthful, okay? So rye is very prevalent in Canada. There's lots of ryes everywhere. In order to call something a whiskey a rye in Canada, you only have to actually have 8% rye in it, okay? But this particular rye has 51%. So you're gonna, whether you want to or not, you're gonna taste that rye. I'm gonna pour this sucker out. How's everybody doing? Still with me? Okay, I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying. I'm already at 8 minutes. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Okay, speeding up now. I got songs to do. Okay, so rye is a difficult grain to deal with. So that's why a lot of companies, they don't put that much rye in the mix, but this has got 51% grain. These people at Okanagan Spirits, they go the distance. They go the extra distance. Right away, you can smell rye. And a little bit of like anticipation for a little bit of spice coming. So interestingly, this is aged in the bourbon barrels that they use, the new barrels that they use for the bourbon. Once they're used, they no longer use them for this, and they're used in their other whiskeys. So this is aged in those bourbon barrels. I'm gonna go in. You can taste the rye, like toasted grains, and a little spicy kick. Not like a full-blown kick, but just enough of a kick, like the perfect spicy kick. You know, like when you order something in a restaurant and you ask for medium spice, and it's just above medium spice. It's like spicy, but just with a little bit extra. It's got that. The way Tyler explained this, it's the perfect Canadian rye, because on the outside or on the nose, when you smell it, it's very pleasant. Even on the initial, when it hits your palate, it's pleasant. But like Canadians, pleasant on the outside. Inside, we can be pretty feisty, pretty sassy, pretty cocky. So it's got a cockiness to it, because it's subtle, it's pleasant, but it's also got that little kick to it, where it's like, check this out. You know, a little bit of attitude, a little bit of sass. Very nice. I don't know much about rye, so I'm gonna stop talking, but this is one of the 4 that you also have to try. Cheers. A very intriguing whiskey. And the thing I found about all these whiskeys is, when I say intriguing, it's like after you have them, you're left, not only are you satisfied, like, you know, with the taste, but you're left going like, what? I want to discover more about these whiskeys. And you should, and you need to. And go online, check some reviews, look them up, or just, when this COVID thing is over, just go to the Okanagan Valley, pitch a tent, and do a distillery tour. So, I've been doing lots of whiskey stuff lately, and I've been really inspired, and I wrote a song, and I think that's in the wrong key. I wrote a song. I've been writing lots of songs, and all my songs are about whiskey, because, you know, you write songs about what you're kind of excited about in life. So I've been writing songs about whiskey and babies, in no particular order. So I'm gonna play a song for you right now, and this is a song that I just wrote, so I'm actually reading the lyrics, so don't mind me looking down. And this is called Pour Myself a Whiskey. And that's it. I'm gonna do it. First time ever. And it's a difficult one, but I'm not gonna screw up, because I got this. Okay? And we still have 2 more whiskeys to go. Let's go. I'ma pour myself a whiskey to celebrate this day. Man, these times are crazy. Forget about my worries as I'm fighting back my tears. The only word I'll say is cheers. I'ma pour myself a whiskey and think of what I've done. I had some bad times, I had some fun. Well, I ain't in a hurry, I'ma sit here till I'm through and pour another whiskey for you. Oh yeah. I'ma pour myself a whiskey and make a brand new plan. If you drink whiskey, you'll understand. There ain't nothing that can stop me with this bottle in my hand. Oh, whiskey, I love you, man. Oh yeah. So raise a glass for happiness and raise a glass for fear. Raise a glass for anyone who can't be here. Raise a glass for yesterday and raise a glass for love. Raise a glass for all the whiskey angels up above. I'ma pour myself a whiskey to celebrate this day. Man, these times are crazy. Forget about my worries as I'm fighting back my tears. The only word I'll say is cheers. Yeah, the only word I'll say is cheers. Yeah, the only word I'll say is cheers. Pour myself a whiskey. First time ever, folks. Live. Well, kind of live. That was live for me. I'm telling you. I'm not even gonna, I'm just gonna move right on. There's no time for chatter. Applejack IPA BC hopped whiskey. Okay, so this is an interesting whiskey. Check out my chat on Facebook or Instagram, me talking with Tyler, the CEO, if you want to get the full details on how this is made. I'm gonna try and explain it in 30 seconds, but it's difficult, okay? So at the distillery, they make an IPA beer, a Citra hops, said it tastes like grapefruit. They distill that. While they're doing that, or around the same time, they make a cider, okay? Then they get the cider, they have the cider ready, they have the IPA beer ready. They take, what is it? They take 9 parts of the cider, someone help me out. 9 parts of the beer, 9 parts of the IPA beer, 1 part of the cider. They mix that together, they age it for 5 years. Think about that. And they make this Applejack IPA BC hopped whiskey. I'm telling you folks, never had anything like this, and it is bad. You gotta try a bottle. Just to sum up this whiskey, you have to be a scientist to understand how it's made, but everyone can appreciate the taste, because it's like difficult to explain how this comes to, but on the taste of it, oh, it's so pleasant. And I'm gonna go right in right now, and I'm gonna go quick, going quick, okay? Applejack IPA, BC hopped whiskey, poured too much. It's okay. It's okay for the afternoon. Whiskey number 3, going in. So it's lighter than both the rye and the bourbon right away. You get that cider. I can smell the cider for sure. I'm just thinking about a cold cider because I'm getting hot. Going in for a sip. So when I said it was complex, it's complex mentally because like when you taste it and when you smell it, you smell that cider. You almost think you're drinking a pint of cider, but you're not. You're drinking a whiskey. So it's a little bit of a mind teaser, but overall, the smoothness and the lightness and the citrusy feeling is, it's something I've never experienced. Also available on their website. You have to check this out. IPA, man, like BC hopped. This is Applejacks, beer, cider, everything combined in one. What's the finish like, you say? What's gonna happen after you finish this whiskey is you're gonna be smarter and you're gonna be happier. Because I feel smarter right now just thinking of that through that process of how it was made, and I'm happier. So you got to get one of these. Cheers. Whiskey number 3. Mixing up my stuff. Folks, check out my shirt. Laird of Fintry, single malt whiskey. I love single malts, but that's not why this is my favorite out of the 4. It's my favorite because when I first talked to Tyler on the phone, he explained the story of the distillery, the whole backstory, the history of everything, and he talked about all the whiskeys. And when he got to this one, the Laird of Fintry, I don't know, maybe I'm a sucker for a good story. Maybe it's because the roots come from Scotland and I'm Scottish. I don't know, but I was taking notes, and when he got to this whiskey, explaining this whiskey, look how cute the bottle is. Look how, man, when he got to this whiskey, I stopped taking notes and I just listened to the story. So a man, Captain Dunwaters, in the 1900s, okay, moved from Fintry, Scotland. He moved over to the Okanagan Valley. He wanted some whiskey, so he had his whiskey made in Scotland, shipped all the way over to the Okanagan Valley, and so he just labeled his own whiskey the Laird of Fintry. And this label you see here, Laird of Fintry single malt whiskey, this is the exact same label from the 1900s. They asked the people that take care of the heritage site if they could use this label. They used the label, and I don't know why that gets me, but for me, like, I already loved the whiskey before I even tasted it. I just think it's a great story. The Duke and Duchess have tried this. Prime Minister Trudeau has tried this, and I have tried this. And you might not be able to try this because just to get one of these bottles, you gotta sign up. You gotta try to win a lottery, and if you win the lottery, you get a chance to buy one. And not everyone gets one of these bottles. And the thing about these bottles is they run out. And once they're gone, once this is bottled in 2019, lot 6. Once the batch is gone, it's just gone for good. And I don't know, I'm fortunate to be trying one of these. Well, let's try it. Enough talk. Let's try our last whiskey. You know what? I don't know, maybe before we try it. So, what happened was, like I said, I was so moved by the story of the Laird of Fintry that I actually wrote a song about it. I mean, about the whiskey in general, but it just kind of, this particular one, this expression just kind of moved me, and I wrote a song about it and I call it Whiskey Roots, and I literally just wrote it last night. But I don't care. I'll play it anyways, okay? It goes like this. There was a man, they say, he owned a grand estate in the Okanagan Valley. He was a traveler, a whiskey epicure. He got homesick in a hurry. He conjured spirits from abroad. His friends took heed and they shipped them off, gave it a noble name. The people did proclaim it made them happy. Oh, we raise a glass to you for your fearless whiskey roots. Now we can share this single malt. Laird of Fintry, Laird of Fintry, Laird of Fintry, Laird of Fintry. Whoa. So, I mean, you know how much I like this whiskey. If after my first sip of it, I ran and wrote a song about it. It's that inspiring. I'm not joking, folks. Let's pour this puppy out. Look at the color of this thing. So, the reason why, it's double aged, okay? It's got a port style finish. So it's aged for 5 years in oak casks. And at the end of that, and I'm gonna say this wrong. I'm gonna say it wrong, but I got it written down somewhere. It's aged for an additional 6 months in Old Vine's Fauche barrels. I don't even know what Fauche means. I like saying it, but it's aged in those barrels. Fauche barrels. All I know is check out the Facebook site, go on Instagram, and Tyler can explain why or what that means. But look at the color of it. It's got like a ruby red color. I got a shirt with this on it, and I love this bottle. And I'm gonna save a little bit of this for my wife when she's done being pregnant, and the rest of this is just gonna go on the shelf, and I'm gonna keep it for about 100 years because it's that good. I'm not even joking. I'm going in. Last whiskey. We did 4, okay? So you get some vanilla, like a vanilla / berry kind of, like a very fruity berry kind of hints. Going in for a sip, folks. Cheers, everybody. Oh, this is the best one of the 4 for me. The fruit and the vanilla and the smoothness and the history behind the whiskey. Oh, I mean, it's been an emotional week for me for other reasons, but I could get emotional sipping this whiskey. And I'm being serious. This is a must-have. You need to try the majority of these, but this is, if you can get your hands on one of these, get online and order one. If you can't, get the other ones. This is a beautiful, beautiful whiskey. What's the finish like, you ask? I know you're thinking. It's lordly. You feel lordly after drinking this. All jokes aside, after drinking all of these whiskeys, the overall kind of feeling I'm getting is I haven't had whiskeys like this before. I've had a lot of single malts, I've had a lot of bourbons, American whiskey, but this Okanagan Spirits in Canada, these people are killing it. It's opened my mind, my eyes, my taste buds to what Canadians can do, and these guys are at the forefront because they are killing it. Just by like how great the people are, how cool the bottles look, and the tastes and the ideas that they're coming up with. So fresh, so right on top of the curve of things that you got to check them out. You can't get this stuff in the LCBO right now. I don't know if or when you can, but you got to check them out. Get online, order a bottle. Order 4 bottles. order a couple extra bottles and send one to me. No, but always, I'm serious. Get online, order a bottle. If you like one of them, get two and drink one of them and save one of them. Put it in the vault. I gotta go, folks. I'm sorry to run. I'm sorry if this seems rushed. 25 minutes. Too long. That's a lot of whiskeys. Woo! Episode 7, The Whiskey Hunter. If you're watching this video, I already had my babies and I'm a happy man and I'm just waiting to pick them up at the hospital and everything is good. And I hope everyone is half as happy as I am. You know why? Because I'm the whiskey hunter. Once again, thank you very much, Tyler, if you're watching. And happy birthday, your 21st, the youngest CEO of a craft distillery in Canada. Yeah, I'm the the whiskey hunter. And please check out our brand new YouTube channel, The Whiskey Hunter. Google it, type it in, like us, share us, subscribe. And we'll see you soon. Cause I'm the whiskey hunter. Peace. Cause I'm the whiskey